Hello, I am back. Third day in a row where I've had a stream. It's time for some Alliance Raid fun today. First one was quite challenging, and I'm told pretty much all the raids in the Return to Ivalice series are pretty challenging. So I'm expecting to also fight some challenging bosses today, which is always fun. Hello there, Parker. Welcome. Uninvited. Lena Murila appears to have been awaiting your arrival for quite some time. Jaguar, where in the world have you been? Did you not receive Alma's summons? Principal Lexentale's research into the Orosite may finally have borne fruit. We must hurry to the Prima Vista before they embark on some grand and perilous adventure without us. If I remember correctly, we're trying to prove that Ivalice is real to the world. If you would follow me to the shuttle, good sir. That's a very loud door. Jaguar, Lady Murilla, thank you for answering my summons. Master Garland was kind enough to send for an Archon from Charliot, and I thought it only right that you be present to hear her findings. To be frank, summoning Mikoto was more Y'shtola's idea. I simply came along to see what light she could shed on this mystery. I'm Mikoto of House Jinba, a Domin, though my years in Charlian have made me a stranger here. You must be Jaguar Evergreen, fabled liberator of men, slayer of false gods, warrior of light. I thought you'd be taller. Really now? You thought I'd be taller as an aura. Not tall enough already? Let us speak of the crystal. Literally the tallest person here is me. The Otius, one of the many Arosite shards that aided noble Delita's rise to the Regent. My apologies, the Odious is no ordinary crystal, even discounting its obvious historical importance. The specimen is more than a simple manifestation of elementally aspected energies. It is, rather, an ethereal lodestone whose facilitation of both the absorption and transmission of distinct frequency, NRR-type harmonic vibrations, has been observed to promote ethereal amplification. The resultant neuroharmonic disturbance allows for a highly unique emittance of CPRS waves that, instead of radiating outward with a determinate factor of dispersal, instead resonate inward at a frequency so labored, my estimates place the rate of VRT decay at upwards of several centuries, though I must admit I lacked sufficient varieties to complete a truly comprehensive graphical assessment. I understood none of that. While that an explanation may elicit admiring nods from your professors at the Academy, it will earn you only blank looks here. Take a deep breath and try again, this time in a language that those of us without the echo might comprehend. My apologies, I merely thought... Apologies will see us no nearer to an answer. Simpler explanation will. Simpler, right. Aether is not only the building block of all things material, but those immaterial as well. Thoughts, memories, feelings, one's very will are all understood to be ethereal phenomena. It can be measured as such. Unlike most crystals, which can only emit elemental energies, Urusite is tuned not only to absorb ether, but ether specific to the immaterial. That ether is then stored and multiplied within its crystalline confines until external stimuli precipitate release. Try again. Yeah, still not following. Under appropriate conditions, a strong will or desire can become imprinted upon the Urusite and stored until fomentation, at which time the desire becomes manifest. Fomentation? What my studious young friend is trying to say is that the odious takes one's deepest fantasies and makes them a reality. Yes. Yes, that is simpler. You may choose to think of it as a process akin to that of summoning a primal. I see. There being one marked difference, primal summoning requires a supplemental energy source, such that a horde of elementally charged crystals. Urusite, on the other hand, has the capacity to serve as its own source of power. So when you summon a primal, you need a bunch of crystals, but with Urusite, you need just one. That's what I'm understanding. From what you know from the Durai papers, that Argath was never king of Ivalice. He was slain in battle during the War of the Lions. Yet the Argath encountered during the recent expedition carried himself as if he had been crowned regent. I believe this was merely the Urusite in his possession, realizing his desire to rule. I am informed that he uttered the same words over and over again for the duration of the confrontation which unfolded. If that is the case, it is possible that it was not actually Argath who uttered them, but the Urusite himself. It feels like a very meta joke there about how raid bosses repeat the same lines over and over again. If the Durai papers are accurate, Argath was a weak and petty noble who believed that his blood entitled him to power. The Urusite took that belief and twisted it into the abomination we, Jaguar, put to the sword. Then are you saying the crystal could prove a threat? The Urusite, Alma, and not necessarily. Ramza seemed to fare well enough. There's no record of the young regent being manipulated by the artifacts he gathered. In the hands of the just, the Urusite should prove harmless, even beneficial. To paraphrase, it is not the weapon that kills, but the one who wields it. Now where have I heard that before? Oh, yes, It was Emperor Galvus's justification for taking the marvels of Magitech and applying them to the manufacture of arms, where, after all, was the harm if it allowed him to bring order to the great three continents. Oh, where, after all, was the harm if it allowed him to bring order to the three great continents? You draw an intriguing parallel, Master Garland. The properties of these crystals are so singular. I do begin to wonder if they, like Magitech, are products of science and not nature. That they were created by someone to... But who? What manner of person would even be capable of such a feat? Now that is an interesting question, the answer to which I look forward to hearing. Regrettably, I have pressing matters to attend to elsewhere. Fear not, however. Mikoto's insight will prove far more beneficial than anything I might accidentally contribute. Good day to you all. See you later, Sid. What I don't understand is, if the Duma was imprinted with the Argath's deepest desires, whose desires are rattling about inside the Odious? I had the self-same question, and thus conducted a thorough inspection of the crystal upon my arrival. The results were inconclusive. Traces of ethereal activity were present, but to all intents and purposes, the vessel was empty. Empty? But what of the voices I heard? Voices? I heard nothing of the sort. The only voices you heard, Alma, were in your stubborn head. Ramza, why won't you... Shall we speak of voices then? What of yours, Alma? The resident voice of dissent. You have none but questioned the wisdom of our research from the moment we left Garlemald. Would you put your petty worries above our family's calling? Wait, hold on. Didn't the father hear voices from the crystal too? No, I would never. You would never? Then why involve a gossip monger, a goody two-shoes, and this flying mole? There's a Moogle in here? Please tell me you can see that. Ah, a Moogle, yes. Don't just stand there, get rid of the thing. You're the Liberator. Liberate this vessel of that pest. A Moogle, and a decidedly dusty one at that. Might this be one of your acquaintances, Jaguar? It's nothing like I've ever seen before. Can we keep it? Most intriguing. Is it alive? Yeah, Genomus. I thought Alma was talking about him hearing voices from the crystal in the previous part of this raid series. Am I interrupting? Oh, please do go on. My acceptance into your fine troop's ranks can wait until all have said their piece, Kupo. Guards, get this... Mont Blanc. The name is Mont Blanc. Denizen of Dalmasca's deserts, seeker of thrills, adventurer extraordinaire, but you may call me Mont Blanc, Kupo. Dalmasca has long been known as a melting pot for myriad cultures, where minor races such as the Sikh, the Bonga, and the Vieira might live in relative harmony with the Here, Elizin, and others. The Vieira. I think this is the first time that they're being mentioned in the main story. Or I guess this isn't even the main story. Yet there's no record of a prominent Mughal population. Most likely, we are neither prominent nor populous. My people are nomadic from nature, ever drawn to the elusive frontier and the freedom she promises, Kupo. Mughal? Of course I'm a Mughal, Kupo. You think the adorable wings and the fluffy palm would have given it away. Now, about my admission to the Majestic... I will allow no such thing. The Majestic is the Empire's premier theater company. We will not sully its good name by granting refuge to a fluttering ball of fur. And furthermore, how in the world did this abomination board the Prima Vista in the first place? Hello there, John. This will be a fun raid. I'm excited. By means of his wings, were to guess. As for his admission to our company, I do not seem to recall race, creed, or allegiance on my list of prerequisites. Do you? No, Father. Very well then, Mont Blanc. What is it exactly that calls you to the stage? Our stage. What else? The Zodiac Brave story, Kupo. Never before have I witnessed something so amazing, so moving. Sitting, well, technically hovering there in the audience as the story unfolded around me, I knew I was witnessing something special, something positively transcendental, Kupo. It was then that I realized either that I had to be a part of it, or I go to my grave a bitter and broken Mughal. Was this realization before or after you swore you had simply had to become the realm's greatest marauder, Kupo? Is another Mughal here? Herdy, how did you... This one looks like a bard. Perhaps you'd have more success at running away if you didn't reveal our grand designs to every other fool you happen to meet, Kupo. Was it not but 20 nights ago that you took up the axe, Kupo? Now here you are professing your passion for the stage, before carving even a single notch in your haft. Do you not remember, to he who churns the butter goes the sweetest bread. But how is one to savor said buttered bread, if his head is in the belly of a fearsome beast? You accuse me of giving up when I merely came to the realization that continuing would end in failure. Only through a change of course could I reach my final destination, Kupo. Hey, pawn shop. Good to see you again. And that destination is, what, Mummer? Are you sure it is not Geomancer? Arithmetician? Templar? Do not bother answering, Kupo. We all know you'll be singing a different tune come cockcrow. That is where you're mistaken, Herdy. I was destined to be a thespian. I can feel it in my fur. The role of Delita was made for me made for me, Kupo. Kupo, enough. The actors in our company trained at the Empire's finest institutes. They represent the pinnacle of the profession not only in Garlemald, but across the entire world. A vagrant bat mole like you could never hope to share the stage with such artists, let alone play the part of a hero like Delita. You yourself have admitted you were too craven to face a solitary beast. How do you imagine you would fare against a pack of theater critics? Any troupe would need proof of valor before it could even consider. Craven, call me a cheat and call me a cur, but do not, sir, call me Craven. I accept your challenge. Slay but one foul beast by mine own hand, and the majestic theater company will accept me into its ranks, Kupo. Wait, I issued no such. You are all here witnesses, Kupo. When I return with the head of a terrible beast in my gore-stained hands, you will be honor-bound to welcome me, Mont Blanc the Mummer, into the fabled ranks of the majestic. Good day. Wonderful. What do we do now? What do? We do nothing. If that Batmole wishes to throw himself on the horns of a stampeding Zill, I will not stand in his way. Ramsa's really not having it with everything that's going on. I believe the proper term of derogation is molebat, and I should warn you, Muggles do not take kindly to those who use it. Why must you always put yourself above others, brother? Did you learn nothing from Argath's wretched example? Montblanc would never have set off on this fool's errand had you not made the challenge. If anything befalls my brother, his blood will be on your hands. Jaguar, you are the only one among us capable of locating Montblanc and preventing disaster. On behalf of my brother, I beg your assistance. Shortly after arriving here, I was presented with a study which suggested that consuming large quantities of honey improved brain function. The results were so compelling that I almost felt moved to try, until, that is, I saw the work that had been commissioned by one of Eorzea's foremost confectioners. It made me long to return to Sharlayan. Forgive me, was there aught else you wished to ask? However did Ramsa come to be so thoroughly obnoxious? He and his sister couldn't be more different. I apologize. I must learn to control my anger, but sometimes it can be difficult. You saw the poor Moogle. He won't last a day on his own. Must find him and bring him back. I beg of you. Moogles are prominent players in Ivalician legend, but none of the tales mention their capacity for flight. Something lost in translation, perhaps? My brother can be rather simple-minded when it comes to such matters. Aha, so they're brothers. Thinking to impress the Warrior of Light and his companions, Montblanc would likely choose the scene of your recent exploits to prove his worth, meaning Rabinaster, if I'm not mistaken. Pardon my language, but that Ramsa really is an incurable little prick, is he not? How dare he speak to his sister and the Moogle in that manner? Couldn't decide which was worse, the things he said, or the way the principal sat back and let him say them. But I suppose it's none of our concern. For now, let us concentrate on the task at hand, finding that Moogle before he does something we all regret. Let's say we start nearby. Pier number 2, perhaps? Let's find that Moogle. Falcon Porter tells us that he set a traveling blacksmith away to Yanxia, not a Belpast. And why would that be to interests of us, you ask? Because said peddler of iron and steel was seen to be carrying a bag stuffed with to the brim, and I quote, albino mole fur and purple bat wings. That sounds like Moogles, alright. Mont Blanc. Not that we look like that, Kupo. The quickest route to Dalmasca is via the One River and its western tributaries. If Mont Blanc is bound for Rabanester, he will seek passage from the Glittering Basin. That's right outside the Doman Enclave. Here we are. Being attacked by chocobos. Chocobos have a lot of health. Mont Blanc, what were you thinking? Have you have you any idea what you put your brother through? He has been worried sick. Both Hurdy and Ramsa were right all along. I am a failure, a flop, a flapping, foppish failure, Kupo. How could I play the part of a hero if I cannot even ruffle the feathers of a single measly bird? The audience would see right through me like the spineless jellyfish I am. Several funny insults right there. Several insult material. Now wait, Montblanc. Not everyone can be a hero. Not even most heroes. Yes, the bards sing of the man who deals the final blow. But what of his cadre of loyal companions? Do you think Delita united Ivalice on his own? Do you think Jaguar was alone when he liberated Alamigo? Not all wars are won on the front lines. But of course they are not. Every campaign needs its brilliant architect, the mastermind who moves the pieces across the board. I, Montblanc, can be that mastermind. That was quick. Let's not dwell on the details. The day is saved, and Montblanc has escaped sans scratch a singe to show for it. We should return to the Prima Vista before our luck runs out. Oh, the Bond guy are here. Please, this ship is a place of peace. Release my sister or you will answer to me. And the cat's away. Put that damnable thing down, Ramsa. You're not helping matters. We have no quarrel with you or yours. We only seek aid in finding our leader, Bagamnan. You seek our help? You who threatened to kill my father, who stole his work and made fools of us all. Never. Silence, Ramsa. They have Alma. We will hear what they have to say. As I said, we have no quarrel with you. We only did what was necessary to secure an audience. We surrender our weapons and offer your journal as an act of good faith. The other guy doesn't even have a weapon, he was just standing there awkwardly. This is all rather a lot to digest. Yeah, I didn't expect this turn of events. But your claims do coincide with what we have learned about the Aura site. You're saying that crystal did something to our captain? After being empties of Argath's will, the Duma sought that of another to sate its appetite for ether. Ah, so their leader has become another monster like Argath. Another summoned creature. You're saying that crystal ate our captain? Not his body, no, only his soul. His soul? Tell me, what in your opinion was your leader's deepest desire? Was it that he longed what was it that he longed for above all else in the world? Why waste your breath reasoning with these lizards? They showed themselves for the beasts they are when they put a knife to your throat. First molebats, now lizards. This one's tongue is pure poison. The boy can call us what he pleases. For our past failings, we deserve no better. Your failings? 30 summers have come and gone, yet not a night goes by that I do not wake in sweat at the memory. We were few slayers in the Dalmascan army, stationed in the royal stronghold at Nalbina. Nalbina Fortress was reputed to be impenetrable. Its fall to the 4th Legion proved a turning point in the Imperial campaign, dealing a crushing blow to the Dalmascan morale and ultimately marking the beginning of the kingdom's end. Oh, look at this. Artwork. Balgamnon was our captain, and it was clear the day would not be ours. Prince Rasler, commander of the garrison at Nalbina, tasked him with one final mission. Our unit was to escort His Highness's twin sister, Princess Ashelia, away from the fortress, and thence to safety, but things did not go as planned. I still remember the words she uttered as she lay dying in the captain's arms, but a stone's throw from where the Garamscythe waterway drains into the sea. Even as the fog of death descended upon her, she smiled and told us, the very people who had failed her, to survive, for as long as even a single Dalmascan stood, our nation would never truly perish. But it should not have been us who survived. By failing to protect our charge, we betrayed the princess and her memory, and brought shame upon our race. So yes, we are not but cold-blooded lizards, deserving of whatever scorn you deign to heap on us. I think we may safely assume a deep-seated hatred towards the invaders of his homeland, coupled with self-loathing born from a sense of powerlessness. The darkness that lurks in the heart of Balgamnon is a little different from that which drove Argath, the self-same emotions that were to nourish the Duma. Stop speaking in riddles, Charlian. She's saying your brave captain will eventually turn into a monster, or rather, more of one. Garlean lies. If what they say is true, we do not find Bogamnon in the Duma. If we do not find Bogamnon in the Duma soon, none of us are safe, present company included. Do you have any idea where he might have gone? Any at all? Wait, look at this. Something has been added to the final page of my journal. Then the captain must have put it there. Only he had access to it. Till we found it in the pack he left behind, that is. Is this Dalmascan? Indeed. It says Ridorana. The lighthouse? Why would he write that? And in the old man's journal, no less. There is a place on the Valnard Sea, far to the south of Rabanester, where the ocean tumbles into a gaping maw more than a malm across, the Ridorana Cataract. Legend would have us believe that is the entrance to the Hell of Water. The Hell of Water. Many a scholar seeking to prove otherwise has descended into the chasm, some even by airship, but not one has returned. That sounds like a cool place. Oh goodness, there's a lot of people to talk to here. All I know about Ridorana I learned during my lessons at Dalmascan geography, but no mention was made of Ivalician legend. While Principal Genomus seems convinced of a connection, I believe I shall reserve judgment until more is known. Is there aught else you would like to ask of me? It appears yesterday's enemy is tomorrow's friend, but then, where does that leave us today? The Banka who took us hostage were once royal fusiliers. Whatever could have driven them to this life of villainy? Tell me, is Ridorana as magnificent as they say? You've never been there? There I was thinking you might have something to contribute. Dang, Ramsa really does not like any of these outsiders, including me. Ever since laying hands on the Duma, Bogamnon has acted strangely. He began speaking to this stone as it were Prince Razler himself. At first, my brothers and I thought it was just in jest, but he continued long after he thought us all abed. Yes, there it is again, people hearing voices from the stone. It is all true. My brothers and I were fusiliers to the royal family, and Bogamnon was our captain. We only laid down our flintlocks once we realized our failure. Ibanka live long. Any other race would think it a blessing. But to me and mine, it is a curse. More summers mean more suffering. Ridorana, if it were up to me, we'd never go near the place. You see, we desert Moogles are not, how would you say, in our element around water. Alright, we cannot swim. Sink like sledgehammers we do, Kupo. Do I know of Ridorana? Of course I know Ridorana. Now, have I been there? No. Cannot say that I have, Kupo. Must admit to knowing little of Ridorana, save that which Lady Mikoto shared with us. Before we expend valuable time and resources traveling to so remote a place, I must review my notes and see if there's any mention of the Abyss. We shall share our findings as soon as we learn aught of interest. Desire. Geonomus and his son are ready to present their findings on Ridorana. Our studies reveal that Ridorana is the name of both a massive gap in the southern Valnard Sea and the lighthouse once manned by the Royal Dalmascan Navy to prevent ships from succumbing to the cataract's currents. I stress once manned, as the tower has lain empty since its candlekeeps abandoned their post after the fall of Rabanastre. But if Pharaoh Sirius offers any indication of what can befall a lighthouse in the absence of its caretakers. Yes, but the real question is how all of this ties in with Ivalician legend. A cursory examination of the Zodiac Brave story reveals no mention of a Ridorana. Yet it seemed foolish to assume that a name could not change in the centuries since the tale was written. So I thought to cross-reference texts on modern Ilsabardian history with our translations of derived papers. Music got all epic all of a sudden. After an exhaustive re-examination of my ancestors' notes, I discovered that there was not a single entry on Ridorana. And while mention of the Valnard Sea was abundant, I found no reference whatsoever to any cataract or lighthouse within its waters. Ramsa's discovery prompted me to examine the mystery from a different perspective. What if there were no mystery at all? What if, at the time of Delita's rise, the Cadam did not exist yet? Interesting observation. There's more, but only a visit to the lighthouse will enable us to confirm our theories with any certainty. I wonder what could have caused a massive gap in the sea like that. Our first adventure, how exhilarating. Who invited me, you ask? Why, that tall one over yonder, with the face, Kupo. Do not be fooled by my brother's false bravado. We are from a tribe of desert Mughals, many of us never having seen more than an oasis pond, let alone an endless ocean. The mere sight of water should be enough to frighten him back to the airship. We do not ask that you forgive the past actions of our leader, only that you show him the same kindness that you would anyone in need. If anything were to happen to the captain, I'm not afraid to speak what my brothers are thinking. The captain was a fool to believe the Duma could bring back our fallen. Now his faith in legends and fairy tales will be his end. It is as Ramsa said, only by visiting the lighthouse will we be able to confirm our theories. All that I know about Ridorana, I learned during our lessons on Dalmascan geography, but no mention was made of Ivalician legend, or Principal Geonomus. Okay, I think that's the same dialogue we read before. More? Why the sudden reluctance to reveal their suspicions? A lack of certainty never stopped Ramsa from pronouncing on things in the past, or his father, for that matter. We are bound for the lighthouse, then. Of course we are, but do not try and tell me this has anything to do with helping the Banga. Do any of these people have new dialogue? When all of this is over, I'm going to ask the principal for leave to visit the Dalmascan mainland. If Dalmasca's ties to Ivalice are as strong as he claims, there may be much to gain from studying the kingdom's musical traditions. Records found. Initiating query protocol. Before Sid left, he handed me this queer contraption. Said it was Allegan's storage node, and that if I activated it, you'd hear the principal's voice as if he were standing right beside me. Would you care to try it? I see. So that's if you want to refresh yourself on any of the lore that's been revealed so far. I will admit, since arriving here in the south, there's not been a dull moment. Not that life back in Garlemald is dull by any means, only that you foreigners seem to embrace chaos, where the sane man would seek to prevent it. Their ways may be barbaric, but their hearts seem true enough, as do their upper arms, their thighs, and their abdomens. Gods, those abdomens. Finally leaving, are we? Well, this should be exciting. Though not for those lizards, perhaps, especially if it turns out their captain has gone the way of that other fellow. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Do you think the Banga have dances of their own? Do you think they would show me? No? You're probably right. Experience has taught me that one ignores one's intuition at one's own peril, and something most definitely does not feel right about all of this. Yes, the Banga attacked you. You stole the principal's precious heirloom, and held a knife to the throat of his daughter. But I don't see any reason why we shouldn't forgive them, do you? The Ridorana Lighthouse lies far from civilization. It would be wise to provision for the trip here in Hingashi. An adventurer always comes prepared. Of course. Here we are. Oh, that is a huge gap. You just barely see the waterfall on the other side. Something is very wrong here. Mayhap it would be best if we split our fellowships into two parties. One to delve into the tower's depths, and one to observe from afar. As acting expedition subleader, I must appoint you captain of the first. You may use this spyglass to aid in your search for the missing lizard. Damn it, brother. Where are you? This lighthouse is huge. Captain, give us a sign. Back to the Prima Vista so soon. Nope. Is that Ramsa over there? The lighthouse looks like it has seen better days. I dare say we have a handful of Imperial dreadnoughts and 30 years of disrepair to thank for that. Shivering? Me? My fur is simply standing on edge from all the, ambient ether. Yes, ambient ether in this area. Can't you feel it, Kupo? Where in the king's name are you hiding, Captain? Don't worry, Captain. This lot are with us. They won't hurt you. Oh, that looks like a boss arena. Wow, it really lets us go up here. Oh, there's something to click on over here. Ancient engraving. Lo, seeker in days unborn, God blade bearer. Know you. This tower challenges the sky. Where the watcher, the ward of the three waits, soul hungry, unsated. That must be down to where the giant hole in the ocean is. This location appears to offer an adequate view. Climb up and scan the area for any sign of Bagamnan. Oh, we can go all the way around here. Wait, is that him? You found him. Let me see. He needs our help. Prince Rasler, Princess Ashelia, I know you cannot forgive me. Nor should you. It is all my fault. I could not save you. Could not save anyone. Anyone but myself. I am so sorry. Oh, I wonder if he's hearing them through the crystal. Begamnen, wait! What the? Traitors! Have you no pride? We look like Garleans. You treat with the very men who laid waste to our homeland. You are mistaken, brother. There are no Imperials here. We've come to help. Oh, that's weird. I know what I see. My own kin sided with the enemy. How dare you stay in my audience with the princess? The Duma. It was him, Kupo. It's showing him what he wants to see. Witch. Murderess. Oh no. Gunfire? Oh goody, mister. Begamnen. So, this is the end. Recite the words. Satisfy the covenant. Relinquish thy soul unto me, and be granted that which thou desirest most in the world. Sword in hand, a warrior clutches stone to breast. Look at me, brother. Look at me. In sword, etched he his fading memories. Don't you die, not yet. In stone, his tempered skill. We promised we'd all go together when our time came. You can't leave us here. By sword, attested by stone, revealed. Oh. That light. Where have I seen it before? Oh no. It's transforming into a monster. Oh. Nope, he is still himself. But his eyes are glowing now. Oh, what the? He got buff. Okay, so he was like halfway in the middle of transforming. Whatever you're doing, you need to leave the lighthouse right away. Right away, do you hear? I was fully prepared to fend off the abomination when he vanished, Kupo. I dare say he took one look into my eyes and lost the will to fight. Don't tell me he's God. He's not. He's stronger than that. He's the strongest Banga you'll ever meet. He'll tear his way out of that Lukavi and crush it under his foot. There can be no doubt now. In the wrong hands, the Aura Site is danger to us all. Something must be done, and quickly. Had Bagamnan not stolen the Duma, he would still be alive today, and we would not be faced with confronting another Luvasi. The lizard has only himself to blame. The captain's dead. I saw the light leave his eyes, and now we're alone. Will not believe there's nothing left of Bagamnan in that creature. We can still save him. We can. According to Father, the Durai papers speak of the Aura Site as a holy stone, but I see nothing holy in what it did to Argath and Bagamnan. A most interesting twist. I had assumed the Aura Site would act more swiftly upon the weak-willed, but mayhaps I was mistaken. Could it be that the opposite is true? That those possessed of a more strong will are more susceptible to its influence, not less? There's so many questions. But we are not entirely without answers. I think my brother has had more than enough fun for one day, Kupo. Perhaps it's time for a sleep spell. Alright, make it sleep 3. It is as we feared then. Bagamnan's soul is lost. Annihilation. A solid plan of action must be devised before facing the Banga transformed. Much as I wish it were otherwise, I fear Bagamnan is beyond saving. Yet we cannot suffer what is left of him to become a distraction. Father, is now not the time to abandon this quest? We're meddling with forces beyond. Enough, Alma. We adults are talking. While Jaguar was searching for the lizard, I inspected an area of exposed foundation at the base of the lighthouse. And you were right, Father. The lighthouse is built squarely atop the ruins of what can only be the clockwork city of Gaug. The what work city of who? According to the Zodiac Brave story, Clockwork City of Gaug was a metallic metropolis wherein airships, automata, and other technological marvels of the age were first conceived. Little is said about its location, however, save that it was far away. Ooh, clockwork stuff. I did see a giant gear outside the front of the lighthouse. While the Durai papers do not say a great deal more, they do mention the land upon which the legendary city was built and was severely limited, an inconvenience that forced its inhabitants to build up rather than out. Which led me to ask myself, what if the reason the land was limited because the land in question was an island? That certainly makes sense. But all that would not explain the omission of the cataract. It's inconceivable that the authors would neglect to mention so prominent a landmark had it existed. And then I found it, a lone passage regarding Gaug's fall. While the particulars were missing, It appears the city was abandoned after an explosion left half of it in ruin. So it was an underground city underneath the lighthouse, and then an explosion happened, causing that giant gap. I believe that this explosion may have undermined a portion of the seabed. Need only have been a small area at first, one that could have well gone unnoticed during the Exodus. As time passed, however, the waters would have continued to wear away at the rock, slowly winding the gap until we have what lies beneath us today. That would explain why there is no mention of Ridorana prior to the present era. Come, Father, will you not tell them the rest? Of the possibility that we Garleans are descended in part from displaced citizens of Gaug. The ancestors of the Garleans. Interesting. It would explain how the Empire was able to forge its armies of iron even before the discovery and application of Allegan technology. And it may also explain why the legend of Ivalice has resonated with our people for centuries, despite the fact that the Lost Kingdom was, as far as we can tell, in a quite different corner of the world. An interesting, if somewhat ambitious theory. But to return to your original claim, it is your belief that the Ridorana Lighthouse stands atop what is left of that necklace. Where did you get it, girl? This? It was my mother's. Your mother's? It was my late wife's most cherished possession. Why do you ask? Agamemnon had a talisman he would wear beneath his jerkin. He refused to take it off, even when bathing. He said it was special. I saw it only a few times, but it looked exactly like the one your daughter wears. And? What are you implying, lizard? That my sister stole it? Or my late mother? Neither. I spoke of their similarity, that is all. Can you believe the nerve of this boy? Enough, Ramza. Our guests are merely concerned for the well-being of their kin. And what of our kin? What of them, Ramza? Do you imagine our kin to be better than theirs in some way? Or anyone else's, for that matter? I apologize, Father. We have but one purpose, son, and that is to prove the existence of Ivalice and clear our family's name. Do not allow anger or hate to lead you from that path. Now, we have a lost city to explore. Alright. Ridorana Lighthouse. While it may seem that I can only call upon you from where danger rears its ugly head, I assure you nothing could be further from the truth. You seem unconvinced. Ahem. Perhaps we should speak of this upon your return from the Clockwork City. Since my fool of a brother insists on going ahead with this farce, you have a responsibility not only to ensure that he returns safely, but that he does so a fully fledged warrior. Though I'd settle for the return safely part, if push came to shove, Kupo. My heart cries out to join you on your journey to the depths of Gaug, but my head tells me that I would pay for the privilege with my life. I've received no martial training, Jaguar. Whatever wonders await you, my place is here on the Prima Vista. The necklace. Why is it so special? I'm frightened, Jaguar. I cannot, will not believe that there's nothing left of Bagamnon and that creature. We can still save him. We can. The captain's dead. I saw the light leave his eyes, and now we're alone. First Lazalia, now Gaug. What other wonders might slumber beneath our very feet? Oh, you thought I might be joining you on your journey to the heart of a 1,000-year nest of fiends. Sorry to disappoint, Jaguar, but a detailed account of my swashbuckling upon your safe return will suffice. Or failing that of a body. That would make quite a story. Don't you tell me he's gone. He's not. He's stronger than that. He's the strongest Banka you'll ever meet. Now's not the time to get a fur in your frizzle, Mont Black. Blank. Breathe. Breathe. I am a warrior of legend. I am a warrior of legend, Kupo. Okay, the Ridorana Lighthouse. I heard yesterday that apparently Aether is cut off from data travel, but if there's anybody on Aether that wants to join, please say so in the chat. South of Rabanastre, in a remote corner of the Valnard Sea, gapes a fathomless maw that, for centuries, has slowly devoured the world around it. Ridorana. Whether you believe the cataract natural wonder or demon-torn gate to the very underworld, journeys to her edge should be made with the utmost caution, seeing as none who have stumbled into the darkness have ever returned to tell their tale. An ancient spire once used by the Dalmaskins, as the lighthouse rises defiantly above the churning waters, to warn thoughtfully and foolhardy alike. It is into this spire that the transformed Bagamnon has fled. It is into this hell that you must follow. Alright, I'm gonna take a quick break, and then I will be back to do the raid. Okay, I am back. This raid is so good. Also, the Ridorana Cataract is probably the best area in Final Fantasy XII. It does seem like a pretty cool area, pawn shop. Alright, let's queue up. I do plan to check out some of the other Final Fantasy games at some point after I catch up to current content in Final Fantasy XIV. That'll make some good things to stream in between patches once I catch up during the downtime. Average wait time 6 minutes. Hopefully this shouldn't be a very long queue. I need to go back and play some of the earlier Final Fantasy games too. I played Final Fantasy Tactics which is related to Final Fantasy XII in this raid series. Gotcha. The original Final Fantasy Tactics is supposed to be fantastic though, so maybe I'll play that next. Good plan. Tactics Advanced. I see. Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about Final Fantasy Tactics Advanced. Here we go. Time to get cooked by some raid bosses. Probably. Nice, we're in. Very ominous music. Here's our first boss already. Is that a giant vase? Yeah, he's flexing a giant base. Tsunami? That doesn't seem good. Oh. Got some deaths already. Definitely don't want to stand in front of that. Oh no, the healer's down. The other healer. Let's see if we can get a res off. Heal up this guy. Oh no, we couldn't get him in time. Tide Pod. Whoa, look at those faces. Ah, it's coming straight towards me. Let's put down a heal bomb. These are the stack Doritos. Or not. Everyone seemed to spread out. Tsunami again. Okay, people do seem to be stacking with the triangles. Save the healer. Oh, don't want to stand that way. Cool. I survived. That was fun. Oh, cool. Look at that door. Is that an hourglass shape? Whoa. Cool. This place is a lot more hollow inside than I expected it to be. That was a cool bridge animation. Whoa, what is this? Oh boy. Lots of fire. Ivalice, the Gygus. What the? Where do we stand? Here? Oh. Those are gonna move. Okay, that's a cool mechanic. Oh, chains. It's not breaking. There we go. Rise, loyal minions, heed my call. Step into this inferno. Step into my hellfire. Whoa, the animation. Meteors. Oh, okay, I see. They're like turning the clocks to face certain directions. What the? I definitely did not see that. Looked like he might have spawned at the edge and then dashed in whichever direction the arrow was pointing. Okay, where's the safe spot? I see, some of the clocks were turning faster than others. These are some very cool mechanics. Okay, do I want to point this away from people? And get far away, maybe? Not sure I understand that mechanic with the chains. Time bomb. Okay, that's that mechanic. Very cool. The team that does the animations in Final Fantasy XIV always blows it away. Whoa. The architecture here is similar to that of the lighthouse, yet something feels off. The air is so thin. Wow. I believe you've succeeded in clearing another path. This must be the Clockwork City. Not sure which ones to focus on. Okay, it doesn't seem to be large enough to hit the other golems. So just using single target here seems to be better. Architecture here and everything is so cool. I'm very on board with this. Ancient clockwork device. I assume we want to destroy that. Very cool. Crude scrawling. I don't have time to read that. Everyone's running ahead. Oh, it's in my chat. A wise arithmetician once said the primes were the most lonesome of numbers. To that I say bollocks. 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, and on to eternity. Prime numbers? Warning, warning, entry prohibited. The music here is different. He's just casting a spell that was straight up called Destroy. Okay, you want to stack? Pulverize. That's not good. Oh, healer's down. What the? There's a lot happening. Also, the healer is down again. Uh-oh, I'm on my own here. Resurrection. Oh, I was targeting the scholar. I thought that was the boss casting resurrection. Okay, so one of the summoners got the healer up. That's good. Basic computation protocol loaded. Initiating lesson. Calibrate vitals to multiples of 3. Standing on 3. Calicate. Okay, so I hit 3, 7. I mean 2. 3, 2 makes 5. I did not do that right. Somehow. Oh gosh. Oh, we both used res on the same person. Okay, good. One of the other summoners got the other person. Whoa. Music stopped. What in the Ozma? Oh, it separated us into alliances. Now we go in to the void. He's just dancing over there. Annihilation mode. Got another stack. Oh, he's red. He's angry. Pulverize. I think that's where you run to the edges. Oh, that was cool. Computation mode. Subtracts. Specified multiples. Calculate vitals to primes. Okay, apparently I did it. Divide by 4. Oh, you're supposed to do something else. Inaccuracy will be punished. That was a strange boss. I was surprised I haven't got cooked yet. Like, I haven't died a single time. Hopefully I'm not jinxing that. Whoa. Look at this place.
Waited for this moment, Garlean swine.
This voice actor, though.
Come! The blood of my fallen brothers feeds my hate!
Whoa. Cool. Dragon. I missed fighting dragons. Although I guess we got to fight Shinryu this expansion, so it hasn't been that long since we fought a dragon. Still, I love fighting dragons. Dragons are cool.
The Empire is a cancer! And I am the father's blood!
This music is great. Very epic.
Your suffering is not yet over.
Magnetic field is disrupted. I want to stand here. Got a bone stack. Guess that's not what I was supposed to do. So do I want to stand on this side? Oh, that's a cool mechanic. But now we want to run towards him. Summoned a wind sprite.
Your suffering is not yet over.
No, I want to be on this side. Whoa. This is good. Being thrown into the air.
You will pay for what you have done with blood.
Okay, guess we want to spread these out. That hit very hard.
This is far from finished, Guardians. My words. Give me strength.
Oh no, Cyclone, no! Man, we were like 5 seconds away from getting through the entire raid without dying.
But I shall be waiting in the next.
I shouldn't have jinxed it. I shouldn't have pointed out that we hadn't died yet. But I just had to say it. I just had to open my mouth. cool. This place looks very cool. Kind of reminds me of Sky Sanctuary from Sonic the Hedgehog. There's the amulet. Mother's necklace. But what is it doing here? Unless... Whoa. That was strange. Elma? Elma, are you there? I'm here, Ramza. Extraordinary. The stones are different. The craftsmanship is identical. Whoever did it come to be in Bagamnan's possession? Though they are indeed of a different shape, the stones appear to be cut from the same crystal. Oh, they are. Auracite. Auracite? And what makes you say that? Can't you feel it? You can feel it, can't you, Herdy? Do you recall me telling you that Bagamnan considered the necklace special? It was special because it was entrusted to him by Prince Razzler. He was to return it to Princess Ashelia upon delivering Her Highness from Nalbina Fortress. A family keepsake. Of course, and each necklace, each auracite, has acted as a lodestone, drawing both of our parties closer and closer to Ivalice. 1 second. Alright, back. My cat wanted out of the room. Indeed, Father, the Auracite guides us. Ramza, are you recovered? Thank you, sister. I am well now. From what we know of the Duma and the Odious, vestiges of one's will may endure in an auracite. Could it be, then, that the desire of the former owner or creator of these necklaces was simply to return to Ivalice? Oh, there's the name drop. But who could that have been? Ramsa Beluv. He wanted people to return to his homeland and uncover the truth behind the kingdom's founding. But then why show us Lysalia and Gaug, you ask? Simple. We are being tested. The Orsight is measuring our worth, seeing if we are deserving of that truth. You say these things as if you knew them, but how could you? Nothing we have uncovered suggests anything of the kind. I know you have your doubts, but I can assure you they are misplaced. For now, I must ask you to return to trust me, Lady Murilla. Lady Murilla? Since when did you... Ramsa, are you feeling quite yourself? Of course I am, sister dearest. I've never felt better. I sense a disturbance in the ether. Uh-oh. He might be getting possessed by the Orsight now. Father, these necklaces are gifts. Gifts from the old gods who once watched over the Ivalicians. It is proof we have their blessing. With the necklaces and the Odious, we can finally prove... Thank you, Jaguar. I knew not what came over me. His deepest desire is to prove the truth. So he's about to become corrupted by the Orsight. At least that's what I think is happening. Ramsa, you must rest. Leave me be, Alma. Did I not tell you I'll be fine? Another adventure under our belts, eh, Jaguar? I'd best put a pen to page before the details fade. Lysalia, and now Gaug. One would think our discovery is more than sufficient to prove the Lexan Tales' claims, at least with regard to Ivalice's existence. Something tells me that until Genomus has proof that his ancestors were not the heretics the Church painted them to be, he will not rest. And there's the curious case of Ramsa. At Alma's throat one moment, all sister dearest the next. He was like a different person when he came to, yet I seem to be alone in wondering exactly what happened to him back at the lighthouse. If you ask this lady, he must have taken some quite bump to the head when he fell. Then again, it didn't take him long to turn back into his spiteful little self, so all's well that ends well. The path of most resistance. The worried look on Lena Murilla's face suggests she bears grave tidings. Or not. Greetings and salutations, Jaguar. Suppose you are wondering whether or not the good Genomus has finally determined where in the world our next adventure is to take us. The good news is, he has. The bad news is, however... Now, while it is not in my nature to be sensationalist, sensationalism is my job's description. So please bear with me when I tell you not all is right aboard the airship Lexan Tale. Something about Alma has me deeply worried. I would not trust this information on the hands of my publisher, let alone some sullen gate guard. Shall we continue our conversation on the Prima Vista, away from inquisitive ears? Something about Alma has her worried. Principal Genomist claims to have learned much from his continued study of the Durai papers. Still, he appears to be frustrated at a lack of information crucial to solving the mystery. Question is then, where exactly did Ramza and his fellowship journey next? Jaguar, to what do we owe this unexpected visit? I had not planned on summoning you for another several turns of the sun. I apologize if we've caused you any worry. Suppose one cannot allow a reporter in their midst and not expect her to report what she sees, though I did expect a tad more discretion from Miss Mirella. Alma has, as of late, been experiencing difficulties with her health. Chirurgeons have been called to discern exactly what it is that ails her, but as far as they can tell, there's nothing physically wrong with my sister. The consensus is the rigors of an extended stay in a foreign land have taken their toll on her fragile heart. But the crystal she's wearing is doing something. Jaguar, when did you... Alma. I'm fine, brother. It is obvious you are not. You must return to your chambers and rest. Forgive me. Perhaps we shall speak again once I've regained my strength. Till then, please, look after my father. Now then, where were we? Ah, yes, the matter of our next expedition. As we discovered during our most recent foray into the Ester Sands, the Damascan capital of Rabanastre appears to lie upon the ruins of what can only be the royal city of Lassalia, ancient capital of its lost kingdom of Ivalice. Shortly after, we stumbled across the remnants of the legendary clockwork city of Gaug, cleverly repurposed into a lighthouse overlooking the Ridorana cataract. Remnants which now sit suspended upon the fathomless chasm. Lassalia, Gaug. What do they have in common, you ask? I shall tell you. They both appear in my ancestors' accounts of the rise of Ivalice, Durai papers. And with each new discovery, this forbidden chronicle is now proving Ivalician legend to be far more fact than fairy tale. There's no denying the proof, and it is but a matter of time before scholars and historians from across the realm come to see the same conclusions. But as you are all aware, my aim was never to simply prove the existence of Ivalice. No, I shall not rest until I've revealed the truth of young Ramza's role in King Dalida's ascension, and cleared my ancestor Orin Durai of the false accusations made against him by the Church. Did we not see to Alma first? Kugani's chirurgeons would have us believe she is in no immediate danger, as her illness is not one of the body, but of the mind. To borrow the words, her spirit is in a state of unbalance and merely requires the time to right itself. Sounds to me like something supernatural is going on here. Alma will be fine as long as she remains in bed. The last thing she needs is any further excitement, especially at the paws of these meddlesome mole bats. Yep, he's back to his regular self. Though, I must admit, both Montblanc and his brother has proven more useful than I would ever have dared to imagine. When it comes to usefulness, I am the first in the field. Or was it the furriest in the field? Would you like to feel my fur, Kupo? And you wonder why Ramsa despises you so, brother. They do all the work, and all you do is jest, Kupo. Ah, but you are mistaken, Herdy. I bear neither you nor your brother any ill will. Any further ill will, that is. If anything, I owe you my thanks for your recent contributions. There he is, being oddly nice again. His thanks? Are you hearing what I'm hearing? What happened to the venom-spitting adder we all used to know and hate? Alma certainly seems pleased with the change, but forgive me for not buying into this all-too-convenient transformation. Simply showing the world that Ivalice actually existed will not validate the claims chronicled in the Durai papers. That is correct, Father. The key lies with Ramsa Bayuv. If we can find evidence of his hidden role in history, it will prove Oren's testimony true and safeguard our family name from ridicule. Which is why I turned the focus of my research to Delita's forgotten companion and his actions during the War of the Lions. It was only then I discovered something most intriguing, an underlying struggle with an unknown force, a force with the power to bring about the calamitous ruin. Oricite, the twisted abominations we encountered in both Lassalia and Gaug, the Lucavi. They are born of these unholy crystals. While nobles of the north and south squabbled over Ivalice's crown, Ramsa silently sought to rid the world of a darker evil. Evil manifest from the deepest desires of man and woman, whose minds had fallen prey to the Oricite. And with each confrontation did Ramsa's fellowship grow smaller. Countless companions lost to a cause that would go unwritten. It was far more important than in any clash of armies. And so they endured, till reaching their final destination, the Orban Monastery. Oh, I know this one. The Orban Monastery is where Princess Ovelia was raised. There's a scene about it in the Zodiac Brave story. After Delita emerged victorious in his final campaign, he married the princess to legitimize his claim to the throne of Ivalice. Ah, I see someone has been paying attention. But I don't understand. Why would Ramsa's crusade against the Lucavi take him back there? According to the Durai papers, the sinister being who engendered the Oricite was said to have slumbered beneath the monastery. But who? Or what would have the means to create something so powerful? Ultima, the High Seraph. Ultima? A seraph? Or what's a seraph? Seraphs are believed by some to be servants of the gods, divine beings whose only purpose is to carry out the will of their immortal masters. As to whether or not Ultima can claim this title, however, I cannot say. Just as there are those who chose to worship Ultima and her otherworldly might, there were equally as many who feared the Visitor and her deadly magics, oft referring to her as the Angel of Blood, for the carnage left in her wake. Interesting. What if the spell Jaguar claims to have experienced in the Praetorium, coincidentally also called Ultima, was in fact an elegant interpretation of the very magics introduced to Hydaelyn by the High Seraph? Yeah, that's what I was wondering. That seems to be what the Ultima weapon was based off of. But that would mean... what would that mean? I've spoken with several colleagues back in Charlian regarding their opinions on the ancient incantation, and while they have yet to show for their research, they all agree on one thing: the manner in which the Ultima weapon, manner in which Ultima ethereally manifests should not be possible, at least on Hydaelyn. So it would naturally make sense if we discovered the Alligans had learned the spell from a being not of this dimensional plane. As to exactly how they conceived the being to impart that knowledge onto them. Yeah, that's right, because the Ascians can travel to other dimensions, it seems. Not of this plane. What manner of creature are we talking about here? Oh, that... I thought we were getting attacked for a minute. That door is so loud. Likely one similar to Omega. How long have you been listening from the shadows, my friend? Long enough. I'm here to deliver the item Makoto requested. Sid, there was no need for you to deliver it personally. A Moogle would have sufficed. A Moogle? And trust that he won't tear open the package and show it to some random adventurer? No, this was far too important. If you two do not mind, the principal was about to tell us how to find the Orban Monastery. Would that I could. You don't know? Then what have we been doing here? At ease, Lady Mirala. The Durai papers speak of a cataract situated on the river Zayshel, several leagues southeast of Rabanastre. There supposedly lies the monastery. Zayshel is not a name you'll find on any modern Dalmascan map. Rivers, however, especially ones as large as the Zayshel is established to be, are rare in a nation more than half claimed by the sand. The river we seek can only be that which bisects Gulmore on the Nagshian border. And for that invaluable information, we owe thanks to our brothers Moogle. Their travels have made them veritable authorities on Dalmascan geography. Wait, but you claimed you didn't know the monastery's whereabouts. I'm confused. Its location is not what concerns me, but perhaps the Moogles themselves should explain. Why, certainly. That verdant valley of vines and vipers is to where we must voyage. Next is home to the Vieira, and therein lies our little problem. The one thing the Vieira do not suffer is trespassers, not even lovable Muggles, Kupo. Our glamours kept us hidden long enough to see that the jungle was teeming with ruins, much like those we've discovered in Lasalia and Gaug. But the Vieira trackers eventually found us and took us before the elders. We barely escaped with our palms, Kupo. I bet this is where we finally get lore on the Vieira. I know they were a new playable race in Shadowbringers, which is the expansion that's coming up next. So that is why we are still here, talking instead of bound for the border. There are Vieira who have spurned the strict code of their tribes, abandoning their people to come and live in the cities of Dalmasca. Finding and recruiting one to our cause might provide us with the insight into how to reach the Orban monastery ruins. Unfortunately, the nation's current turmoil has not made it easy to accomplish this task. We still require more time. Before boarding the shuttle here, I was stopped by a Banga on the docks. He asked me if I knew a Jaguar Evergreen, and bid I deliver him a message. I told him he was welcome to accompany me to the Prima Vista, so that he might deliver the message himself, but the man refused. Mikoto, I saw this device crafted to your exact specifications, but cannot guarantee that it will function as intended, seeing as I had nary a subject to test it on. Ooh, what is that? Of course, Master Sid. If any trouble is met, then most likely it is my design that is to blame. Your confidence in my craftsmanship is flattering, but you sell yourself too short, my dear. Here's to your success. Good day. There's no question that Ivalice once stood atop the lands we now call Dalmasca, but with the passage of time have remnants of those eras past faded beyond recognition. If only the great library at Rabanastre still stood. My knowledge is limited, but if there's aught you wish to ask. I have no issue with Ramsa's unexpected change of heart, just with how it actually came about. I fear it might be the Orosite playing with his heart, Kupo. Yeah. I sensed a surge of aether the precise moment he came into contact with the necklace, though that surge has since passed. Both Montblanc and his brother Herdy have proved invaluable to our expedition. I owe them my thanks. And, I suppose, an apology. I admit, when they first arrived I was wary of their ability to contribute to the cause. However, over the past moons they have done their damnedest to prove me wrong. I used to believe that we Garleans were inherently better than, well, everyone else. I suppose a part of me still does. It was what I was raised to believe. It is what all Garlean children are. Only now have I begun to realize the fool that I was. Well, that explains a lot about Garleans. Our exile here has forced me to face the arrogance that has controlled me my whole life, and what I found was that I was simply frightened of change, frightened of admitting I was weak, and so I lashed out, and I'm sorry that you, Montblanc, Boagi, and the others had to suffer. won't believe this, but since our time together in the Clockwork City, Ramsa and I have grown inseparable. I see what you did there. Time. Why, I consider him a closer companion now than even my good brother, Hurdy. Just don't let Hurdy know that, Kupo. Something is obviously very wrong with poor Alma. Why her father doesn't seem to pay her condition much mind is something we should all be wary of. Yeah, he does seem like he should be more concerned than he is. Why, hello there. Are those engines I hear? I do hope we are bound to somewhere exciting. My friend, why the hurry? There's little in this world more important than a chest of steel, unless it is calves of granite. Would you care to join me for a few thousand lunges? Your body will thank you in the morning, as will your lover. Ahahaha. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I must stay ever limber for it. Why this? Why, for the stage, of course. What did you think I meant? At first I thought Alma was merely a tad under the weather. The winds up here can prove quite chilly, but now... I took a performance at the Mujikoza the other day, and must say, it was quite an experience. I, of course, had no idea what was going on, but it all sounded brilliant. The local courtesan who accompanied me explained it was a tale of 13 samurai, Ronin, I believe she called them, who embark on a journey to avenge their slain lord. All in all, 'twas a bloody affair that ended in the death of everyone save the tiny fellow in charge of the lighting, but the audience were on their feet cheering for more. Principal Genomus claims that the rifts twixt any two cultures can be bridged through the telling of tales, though I worry that anyone who would cheer an ignoble death in the service of one already dead would be unable to appreciate aught we might offer them here on the Prima Vista. Oh, I said that aloud, didn't I? How careless of me. My thoughts often drift to my brothers in Garlemald. I fear they think I've somehow abandoned them. Before Sid left in again, he handed me another of his queer contraptions, mumbled something about it being a modified version of the Elgin storage node. Would you care to take a listen? So this is the same thing, just with one more topic. I sense that you are interested in the package Sid delivered. I have every intention to apprise you of its contents, but first I believe we should speak of Alma's condition. Do not find her illness all too timely. Genomus and Ramsa would like to believe that her bouts of vertigo are not but a result of a mind fatigued, but the answer is clear. It is the Orosite that plagues her. Alma recently confided in me that she would hear her father speaking with the Odious, well even before his first foray into the Rabanester. However, I do not think this entirely true. It is not to imply that Alma is trying to deceive us. Rather, I think she saw something that led her to believe her father was conversing with the Orosite. Moreover, I suspect it was the Orosite itself that granted her this vision. I see. So the Orosite is giving her visions now. You recall my hypothesis on distinct frequency NRR type harmonic vibrations and their tendency to promote ethereal amplification, or when I mentioned that despite being in the principal's position for an extended period, the ODS exhibited none of the imprinting present in the Duma. No? The ODS has never resonated with Genomus. It has always been his wife's pendant and its Orosite shard. The Virgo that fueled his passion for Ivalice. No. The ODS is bound to Alma's deepest desires, whatever those may be. The only reasons I can fathom that Alma has not fallen victim to the Orosite's grasp is that her desires are not as strong as those we've witnessed in Argath or Bagamnon. That and the ethereal interference caused by other nearby shards. I've explained all of this to Alma and recommended that she destroy the necklace, yet not only did she refuse, but she begged me to keep this revelation from her father. And so I did the only thing I could. I devised a means with which I might impede, or at least lessen, the effects of the odious. This device, while still incomplete, will amplify the NRR wavelengths emitted by the Virgo. This should work to interfere with those emitted by the odious, thereby shielding Alma from the brunt of their effect. The city below is abuzz with word of a Bonga brigand loitering about the airship landing. Do you think it could be someone we know, Kupo? There's no question. I think that's the same text. Yeah. Same text there. Oh, it's Bwagi. It was Bwagi and his companions. Perhaps they know of the Orban Monastery. Sky pirates are bound to have traveled the whole of Dalmasca on their many misdeeds. Apologies, Jaguar, but I need to speak with you, and you alone. Oh, don't mind me, Kupo. I'll just be floating over here in perfect earshot. Why, what makes you think I won't lay you low? Right here, right now. Because we're here to offer you a proposition, that's what. We need information on the Golmore jungle, and thought a man as well-traveled as you might be persuaded to provide some. Golmore? You of all creatures should know that that is Vieira land. What are you offering then? Why, the opportunity to tell us what you know. Shinobis believes our next adventure lies beneath the jungle canopy, Kupo. I should have expected as much. Very well, Jaguar. Came to ask if you would meet someone. Now it seems that someone may be able to assist Genomus as well. Seeing as you and the principal did us right before, I do not see a reason why I cannot take both of you. That was easier than I thought it would be, Kupo. Let me know when you are ready to depart for Rabanastre. We will travel in our airship. Prima Vista would draw too much unwanted attention. Unwanted attention? From who? Back to a life of brigandage in the clouds, are we? Of course not. Not that it didn't cross our minds. But when faced with the decision of what to do next, we simply needed to remember the dying words of our leader. Gijuk, Renak, and I decided to re-enlist as Dalmascan Fusiliers. And the occupying Guardians actually said yes, Kupo? Not exactly. We're now with the Resistance. You no doubt heard of the uprising in Dalmasca that followed the Doman liberation. How it was crushed into the iron heel of the 4th Legion. The Resistance leaders were captured, tortured, and publicly executed, yet, much to the Empire's chagrin, the gruesome display only served to further rally the survivors. Remove 1 head, and 2 grow back in its place. Remove 2, and there are 4. A person can die, but an ideal will live on. Now there exist several factions throughout Dalmasca. We belong to one known as Lentz Tears. And when we told our commanding officer of our recent crossing with you and yours, she simply insisted that we introduce you. Me? But I wasn't even supposed to be here, Kupo. Not you, Hairball. Him. Meet with the General and hear her proposal, Jaguar. If you are not interested, we shall return you to Kugane unharmed. You have our... Quirrell got your tongue? Rabanester, dead ahead, lads. This way. We've many malms to cover before nightfall. Oh, it's Vieira. I've done as I asked. I brought you the Liberator. Dear, I thought he'd be taller. Why is everyone saying that? I'm an Aura. How tall do you expect me to be? I knew it, a Vieira. I'm Fran, daughter of Dalmasca and General of Lentz Tears. Oh, Fran. That name sounds familiar. I think she's from another Final Fantasy game. And yes, Moogle, I'm Vieira. Are you surprised? Why, yes. In fact, I am. Your kind are all supposed to be living amongst the trees, having shunned contact with the outer world, Kupo. There are supposedly a few who have left their homes, but I most certainly did not expect to see one here in the sewer. Indeed. Sponga claims you seek Orban. Does he speak true? Those ruins lie deep within the Goldmoor jungle, a place most sacred to my sisters. They would take great offense were you to defile it with your presence. What is more, Boggy tells me you travel with Garleans, openly aiding those who would see our nation burn. How can we place our trust in one who would do such? Genomus and his family defected long ago. They are not your enemy. A Garlean is a Garlean. Their pathetic attempt at absolution only proves their past guilt. You must understand, kind Genomus does not approve of the Empire's warmongering. He wants to help Dalmasca and its impoverished masses, Kupo. And what would a Moogle know about my people? Does your blood run Dalmascan red? We could cut you open and find out. General, there's no need for threats. You are right, Waggy. Let us then parley. Parley? Parley. First, the resistance requires men and women from Doma and the Eorzean Alliance to join us in ridding Dalmasca of its imperial invaders. Your past deeds have made you well known to the leaders of both. They will listen to you, or if not, they will listen to these scions to which you claim allegiance. Second, the resistance requires gold to strengthen our forces from within. Your allies are in bed with the East Aldenard Trading Company, which continues its dealings with Garlemald, even as you raise your sword against them, profiting from the Empire's rampant aggression. As targets of that aggression, I believe my people are entitled to a portion of those profits. Grant me these simple things, and I shall personally guide you safely to the ruins of Orban. And what of the Lexan tales? See me to victory, and I'll take the Emperor himself. Those are my conditions. What say you? Provide me first my companions will see to no harm. I will promise you nothing, but if it helps you sleep, know that I have never cut down a man who did not take arms against me and mine, be he Garlean or Eorzean. I'd say we have our work cut out for us, Kupo. Bloggy, you and the Fusiliers are to accompany the Liberator. I expect a detailed report on how my demands are received. Yes, General. Not that I expect them to be taken seriously. You are a fool to trust them, Princess. Hello, Denai. Yes, the Stormblood Alliance raids have been very fun so far. Do not be put off by Lady Fran. The General has quite the edge to her, but it is only because she wants what is best for the Resistance. I finally come to accept Bagamnan is gone for good, but I will never forget how he met his end. I cannot allow my hatred to consume me as it did him. The General's not too bad once you're on her good side. Her only good side being her backside, but you didn't hear that from me. What an adventure, Kupo. Just think, by tomorrow, we could all be the newest members of Dalmascan resistance. Not that I'm ready to give up my place on the Prima Vista just yet. Good morning, Denai. Yeah, it must be early for you where you live. Let's see. Journal. Okay, I think there were 5 quests added this patch. So there's one more. Welcome to their jungle. Mont Blanc is eager to return to the Prima Vista and report on your findings. This is a long batch of story quests for Ridorana Lighthouse. Hurry, hurry. If I don't tell someone of our adventure quick, I'll positively burst, Kupo. Alright. I will be right back. Okay, I am back. Where have you been? In Rabanester? With Montblanc? Blank? Why didn't you tell me? How am I supposed to report on something if I'm not there to see it? Let me tell them, Jaguar. Let me, Kupo. I see no issue. Okay, that's the same dialogue too. This woman asks much of us. The Viera have ever been wary of outsiders. For centuries, their many tribes have remained hidden in the jungles, content with their self-imposed solitude. Each tribe has its own strict code, and will meet swift punishment to any who would defy these laws. As such, many a Viera will spend her entire life bound to the territory of her ancestors, both unwilling and able to venture beyond its borders. And while the tribes are wholly independent, they've agreed to uphold a single standard: shun all contact with the outside world, unless it is to protect the jungle. That said, with every generation there are those Viera who long for a life beyond the verdant sea of the trees, and abandon their tribes to start a new life in the kingdom cities. My guess is that this Fran is one such individual, who also happens to be the only individual we know who can guide us to the monastery, Kupo. Seems Jaguar's sword arm won't be enough to see us through this predicament. He'll need to don the right mantle of a diplomat if we're going to convince the alliances in the East Aldenard Trading Company to grant us aid. What could go wrong? There's one thing you don't ever ask, it's what can go wrong. Something can always go wrong. Yes, I know you said not to call unless it was urgent, but this is urgent. Alright, not exactly, but my supervisors have come to a decision on your request, and I thought you might want to hear what they had to say. Oh, and let me preempt any request for immediate disclosure with a reminder that the information is much too sensitive to discuss over Link Pearl. Meet me at the Ruby Bazaar post-haste, and I shall duly apprise you of their judgment. Well then, Jaguar, what are we waiting for? I've read about how you united the whole of Eorzea under a single standard and convinced the Holy See to end a 1,000-year conflict. Compared to that, asking for a few soldiers and a coffer or 3 of gil should be a piece of roll and berry cake. I suppose we should inform Bwagi down at Kugani Landing of our progress. He mentioned he was to keep an eye on us. It saddens me that I cannot be of any aid. You have every right to think me weak, Jaguar, for I am. At least now, I might admit it. Yeah, he's very off. Has my brother been behaving? Here I ask this already knowing the answer, Kupo. I pray for your success, Jaguar. Not because I am a man of religious tendencies, mind you. It simply feels like the proper thing to do in these sorts of situations. A trip to the Ruby Bazaar. Will there be refreshments? No? Well then count me out, Kupo. I've informed Boggy of our situation. We are to make for the Ruby Bazaar when you are. So you've an answer from the East Aldernard. So you've an answer from East Aldernard already. Impressive. It would seem that Lady Fran has underestimated your influence among the realm's players. I assume you have no objections to joining you then. Bernard and I will stay here with the airship. Our last foray into the city was met with one too many cold stares for my liking. Vessels such as ours require extensive maintenance to remain skyworthy. You and Boggy take as long as you need. Whenever you are ready, Jaguar. Hancock awaits us in the bazaar. Shall we, Jaguar? A lovely lady and Banka? And here I was expecting you would be alone, Jaguar. Ah, but excuse my manners. I'm Hancock, representative of the East Aldernard Trading Company, assigned to oversee her assets here in Kugane. It is a pleasure to meet you. And I am Yugiri. We apologize for making you come all this way. Not that it is far from the landing to... Ahem. Boggy, was it? I serve Lord Hien, rightful ruler of Doma. I have come bearing my lord's reply to your entreaty. And I am Taru of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. I'm only here seeing as no one else could be bothered. Well, that and to bear a message from the leaders of the Eorzean Alliance. I thank you both for coming. I am Bwagi, formerly of the Dalmascan Royal Fusiliers. I now claim my allegiance to Lance Tears, resistance group seeking to accomplish what you have done in Doma and Almigo. What tidings have you brought us? Allow me to begin then. While the East Aldernard Trading Company sympathizes with your plight, we are not in position to grant you the funding you seek. As you are aware, the East Aldernard Trading Company prides itself in its neutrality, be it matters political or personal. And what of our relationship with the Eorzean Alliance? Ah, yes. What I meant to say was, here in Hingashi, the East Aldernard Trading Company prides itself in its neutrality, be it matters political and, must understand its position. Simply suggesting coin to any one group would make it appear that we somehow favor that group over another. Seeing as we conduct business openly and fairly with everyone, doing such would be sending the wrong message, and ultimately harm profits, yes. And by selling to both sides, you maximize profits while good men and women perish. How convenient. We are a business, milady. We do what we must to survive. That does not, however, mean, we are blind to the needs of our customers or our allies, which is why we support the Eorzean Alliance in their noble efforts to safeguard their realm's freedom through a mutually beneficial arrangement. If it were my choice, I would provide your little resistance with all the funding it needs, but as my good friend Jaguar knows all too well, it is not my choice. Yeah, it's Lord Lolorito's choice. Well, now that Hancock's thoroughly lowered your spirits, you won't be as crestfallen when I inform you that the Eorzean Alliance will also be unable to provide any assistance. And let me guess, you did everything in your power to try and convince the leaders of each city-state, only to watch as they politely declined our proposal, claiming an unfortunate lack of intelligence or resources. Wait, how did you... Lord Hien sends his greetings to you and yours, and under normal circumstances, we would welcome allies still suffering under the imperial yoke. However, word has it that the latest attempt at reclaiming your kingdom ended in failure, resulting in the loss of countless lives, including many of the Resistance's leaders. You are not mistaken. Our army is not what it once was. Those remaining have been forced to take refuge deep beneath the streets of Rabanastre. The 4th Legion has already defeated you once. Lacking unity and leadership, the current resistance will not survive another tilt against the Empire's disciplined ranks. If Doma is to join hands with Dalmasca as an ally, you must first prove to us that you will stand as one. Doma as a full-fledged ally would serve far better to strengthening our cause than a few temporary soldiers. Yet even if we were unable to wrest Dalmasca from the Empire's grasp, without unity among your people, the resulting chaos could prove even more perilous to the kingdom. You understand much of our situation. And based on that understanding, you would refuse your aid to Lent's tears. Am I correct? Do not mistake me. Lord Hien's refusal is but a message to help you plan your next step. You have a wise master. He understands that without proper planning, driving one enemy from your midst simply creates room for the next. Yeah, indeed. Hien is a very wise leader. Lady Fran will no doubt be pleased to hear that your response was exactly what she had expected. You knew this whole time that your demands would be rejected, yet you still let this farce play out. You have my apologies, but this was all necessary to prove an important point to our leader. Lady Fran needed to show the princess exactly what she was getting herself into. And your honesty today will serve us better than any hollow promise. Thank you. So this was all according to plan. Wait, what about the Gulmore jungle? Can you believe this? We're right back to where we started. Principal Genomus will not be pleased. If it is as you say, it's most unfortunate, but I suppose we did everything in our power, and that is all one could ask. I still do not understand. Why would Lady Fran send Jaguar on this wild piazza chase if she knew from the start it would be for naught? Boggy mentioned something about Fran proving a point to their leader, whomever that may be. People in positions of power can prove both naive and stubborn creatures. Simply telling a leader that she's wrong may not convince her of the fact. Seeing one's own plan fail, however, is oft the best of medicine. Naive and stubborn, then the resistance is doomed. If a person as imposing as Fran is taking orders from her, the chances are this leader is even worse, Kupo. I would not be so certain, Mont Blanc. My guess is that the individual in question is still quite young and inexperienced, and that Lady Fran is trying to teach her to be an effective leader through example. By allowing her to make her own mistakes, Fran is granting her the ability to learn and grow from them. An experience that will ultimately benefit her when the time comes to make some truly difficult decisions. I see. Now I seem to recall that one of the many faces of the resistance before the recent quelling was a young girl of royal blood. Do you suppose... You may cease with your baseless presumptions, defector. The door was open. And you would be? I would be here on the orders of the leader of Lint's Tears, against my better judgment, mind you. Greetings. Lady Fran, I presume. I'm Genomus Sen Lexentale, principal of the Majestic Theater Company. You and your colleagues are most welcome on the Prima Vista. What is it that your leader would have of us? While you failed in meeting even a single of our demands, she recognizes that you were sincere in your attempts to see them fulfilled, and for that effort, you are to be compensated. That is most generous. The ruins which you seek are hidden behind a waterfall here, point roughly equidistant from the river's source and its delta. Ah. Nice, we got a map here. You have our thanks, Lady Fran. We will not forget this kindness, Father. I shall plot a course immediately. Ramza, what is going on here? Alma, you should be in bed. I've slept enough, brother. Tell me, who are our guests? 1 second. Alright, I am back. It appears you once again prepare a leap into danger's maw. Keep your wits about you, Jaguar. Lady Fran is strong, but then again, so was Bagamnan. If you'll excuse me. Are you mad? A trip to the surface in your condition? Listen to me, brother. The High Seraph beckons. She speaks to me through the Otius. The what? There's no need to worry. Mikoto and I have already devised a plan. I can help clear our family name. Charlene has no say in this. I'm your father, and I insist you remain here on the airship. What would your mother say if I allowed aught to befall you? Mother? That is what this is all about, isn't it? What it has always been about. You care not about Ivalice or the Orin name. No, you only seek to use the Oracite to bring Mother back. Everyone looks at him. But you haven't been able to do that. You still do not understand how exactly it is that the shards translate one's desires into reality. That is where I can help. I can ask the High Seraph. It is she who created the Oracite. Ultima has bid me come to her place of imprisonment. If we free her, she will reveal us onto the secrets of her creations. That sounds like a bad idea. Do you hear what you were saying, Alma? Even if there was the slightest chance of bringing Mother back, we cannot risk your life in doing so. Your brother is right. We've sacrificed too much already. I cannot bear the thought of losing you, either of you. Too late. Oh. I'm so lonely, Father. Why must you love Ramza more than you do me? Do not be cozened by your daughter's words, for they are not your own. They are not her own. Oh, the device. Help me, Rams. No. No! Gods forfend. I told you, no one can control the power from those shards. No one. Jaguar, here, take this. Might be the only thing that can save Elma. But we must hurry to the monastery. Come, we leave for the Gulmore jungle. Now. Okay. Fortunately, I have to call the stream there, so I will finish this quest next stream, which will probably be tomorrow at around the same time this stream started. Maybe a little earlier. Alright. Thanks you guys for joining. And I will see you next time. I will finish this quest, and then I'll probably do a little bit of the Four Lords stuff. So, I hope to see you then. The Gulmore Jungle. The place of many hours spent farming Malbor items. I'm guessing in another Final Fantasy game. There's a lot of farming to be done there. That's funny. Thank you, Pawn Shop. Alright, I will see you tomorrow. Also, if you didn't see, I put a poll in the Discord to try to gauge when people are free for watching streams and stuff, so go and vote there if you haven't already. Alright, I will see you in tomorrow's stream. Take care.